The Imperial High Council was in chaos. The chamber buzzed with nervous voices, holoscreens flashing live feeds of the dark vessel drifting through space. No one knew its name, its purpose, or its origin. And that made it dangerous. High Chancellor Varel slammed his fist on the table. I want answers, not theories, not guesses, answers. No one responded. Then, Erin Wallace stepped forward. She was not the highest-ranking intelligence officer, but she was the only one with courage in her eyes. Permission to speak freely, Chancellor. Varel nodded sharply. I believe the vessel is from pre-Exodus Earth. It matches nothing in the modern Terran Republic. But some of the energy signatures, particularly the core flux waves, they resemble early experimental human designs from before Earth fell. A low murmur passed through the room. That was centuries ago, said General Threx. Those ships were destroyed. Or hidden, Erin replied. She tapped her datapad and a dusty classified file opened on the main screen. Project Colossus. Redacted lines, black bars, and a single phrase still readable. If humanity falls, let this be our final shield. We believe. This ship is a relic of that project. Somehow it survived. Why show itself now? Asked Varel. I don't know. But it didn't come to trade, or to talk. Varel turned to his military officers. Prepare the war fleet. This ship may be human, but it is not our ally. Meanwhile, on the Warden, Rhea had finished unlocking the first systems. Core reactor stable. Power reserves at 98%. Crew revival proceeding. Noah. Briggs stood alone in the ship's vast central corridor. The silver pods lining the walls blinked slowly, warming. Faces began to appear behind the glass. Men and women in uniform. Sleeping for centuries. All waiting for a single command. Dina entered quietly. They're ready, Captain. If you give the word. Noah didn't speak. He stared at one pod in particular. A woman, blonde hair, pale skin, and a nameplate that read, Commander Ilara Kent. He closed his eyes. Memories rushed in of Earth burning. Of the last launch, of promises made. Not yet, he said. Let them rest a little longer. Back in the Imperial fleet, preparations for confrontation began. Warships were mobilizing. Destroyers, cruisers, and the giant dreadnought Pride of Varan. Fleet Commander Jonas Kerr reviewed the data with suspicion. He was a cautious man. This ship, whatever it is, hasn't attacked. Not yet. His second-in-command Mara Lynn frowned. It disabled patrol ships without causing any loss of life. That's precision, not aggression, Kerr nodded. That scares me more. It means they're not just strong, they're smart. Should we try to communicate again? Kerr paused. One more time. Then we hold our line. If they cross it, we answer. A transmission was sent. Simple, peaceful, clear. On the Warden, Rhea read the signal. Message from Imperial Fleet, requesting identification and intent. Noah didn't hesitate. Send reply. Observation mission. No hostile intent. Do not interfere, the message sent. The Warden continued its slow journey toward Harkonnen Belt. In the High Council, the reply caused a storm. Observation? Of what? Who gave them permission to observe us? Snapped one counselor. Varel's eyes narrowed. They think they're above us, a relic of an old empire. But this is our galaxy now, he turned to Erin. If you knew about this ship, you should have warned us. Erin stood her ground. I didn't know. No one did. But we can learn. We can speak to them. This doesn't have to be war. War has already come, Varel said coldly. That night, Erin sat alone in her quarters, reviewing every old Earth file she could unseal. Most were blacked out. But one image caught her eye, a younger Noah Briggs, standing beside a massive hull during construction. The Warden wasn't just a ship. It was a message from another time, a time when Earth prepared for its death. And maybe its revenge. She recorded a message. Captain Briggs, if you can hear this, I believe we are both from the same blood. I want to talk before others choose to fire. She sent it on a hidden channel, hoping it reached him. In the dark bridge of the Warden, Rhea spoke softly. New message. Encrypted. From Imperial agent. Do you wish to hear it? Noah looked out into space. Then he nodded. And the voice of Aaron Wallace began to play. For a brief moment, across the silence of space, two humans from different centuries finally spoke. Captain Sillin of the Galactic Scout Fleet stood inside the observation room of the Imperial Spire. The stars outside looked calm, but inside the room, the air was heavy. Everyone stared at the same strange signal, flashing across the holographic display. It came from a sector that had been quiet for centuries. No trade routes, no military paths. Just dead space. The High Commander's voice echoed, Captain Sillin, you are to intercept the unidentified vessel immediately, he ordered, his eyes cold. We want visuals, identity, origin. Do not engage unless fired upon. Sillin nodded, though he felt uneasy. Understood, sir. We'll leave within the hour. His scout ship, Vexor 9, was built for speed and silence, not combat. But it was the best for tracking and observing strange signals. Within minutes, Sillin and his crew of 5 were on board and preparing for departure. Coordinates locked, said Relo, the navigation officer. We'll reach the signal's last known location in 4 hours. As the Vexor 9 slipped into subspace, Sillin sat in his chair, thinking. There were many legends in the outer colonies, tales of lost human ships, old war machines from before the Empire's time. But this signal moved too fast, too smooth. And the databases held nothing. When they arrived at the target sector, the stars looked the same, calm, silent, cold. But something was off. Sir, said Tani, the communications officer, I've got something. A faint pulse. Not just movement, this thing is changing direction, like it knows we're here. Sillin frowned. Visuals? Working on it. Wait, got it. On the screen appeared a shadow. At first, it looked like debris. But then the angle shifted. The shadow moved. Against the rotation of nearby asteroids, Sillin leaned forward. The vessel had hard lines, a thick outer hull, and strange glowing strips of dull blue across its body. It was not elegant like most galactic ships. It looked brutal, old, but fast. And most strange of all, it was flying without using any known energy signature. No warp trail. No heat spikes. It was as if it bent the void around itself. That's not one of ours, whispered Relo. No, Sillin agreed. It's human. But it's not imperial, and it's not in any archives. Should we hail it? Asked Tani, nervous. It, said Sill, and a message was sent. No answer. Another. Still silence. Try standard Earth dialects, even the ancient ones. 5 different versions were sent. No reply. Then something strange happened. The ship turned, not just turned it. Spun with terrifying precision and faced them directly. Sillin's heart pounded. Get ready to move, don't let it lock on. But the alien ship did not attack. Instead, its lights blinked. Once, then twice. Then 6 fast pulses, then a long pause. Is that code? Asked Tani. Old Earth Morse, Relo said, shocked. My grandmother taught me. What does it say? Sillin asked quickly. Relo leaned in, whispering as he translated. It says, do not follow. This galaxy has forgotten. The crew fell silent. Then, suddenly, the ship powered up. Sir, shouted Tani. It's preparing for jump. Before they could act, the strange ship vanished. No sound, no flash, no trace. Just gone. Sillin sat frozen. Did you record everything? Yes, Relo replied. Everything. Sillin slowly stood. We return to the Empire, now. The Vexor 9 turned and jumped back toward the capital. No one spoke during the trip. When they landed, Scylla went straight to the Imperial War Council. He expected questions. But instead, they gave him silence. Cold, heavy silence. They had already seen the footage. A council member finally spoke, voice low. "We have no record of it, not in any human archives. Not even the old Earth Wars. Then what was it?" Scylla asked. "We don't." "No," the councilman replied. "But it spoke in ancient Earth code. That means it remembers a time we've forgotten. And it does not want to be found." Later that night, Seelan sat alone in his quarters, rewatching the footage. The ship's sharp lines, the strange lights. The message, "Do not follow." This galaxy has forgotten, but something told him. This wasn't the end. It was the beginning. The Imperial warcruiser Valiant cut through the cold darkness of space. Captain Alira Miles stood on the bridge, her eyes sharp as the ship closed in on the unknown vessel. The High Command had sent Valiant as a show of force. They wanted answers, and if they didn't get them, they were ready to fight. Alira's voice was calm but firm. "All stations, prepare for contact. Keep weapons on standby. This is a first contact mission, but stay alert." The crew moved. With practiced precision. The massive Valiant was no stranger to battle, yet the tension on board was different this time. They weren't facing pirates or rebels. This was something old. Something they didn't understand. On the main screen, the shadowy silhouette of the unregistered ship grew larger. It was sleek and dark, no markings, no flags. Its hull absorbed light like a black hole. "Captain, they're not responding to..." "Any hails," said Lieutenant Joran, communications officer. Alira frowned. "Try again. Use every known language. Terran, Galactic Common, even old dialects. We need to know who they are." Static answered. The silence was heavy. Suddenly, the unknown ship sent a pulse, a non-hostile energy wave that scanned the Valiant systems. Sensors flickered. "It's probing us," said Chief Engineer Dax. "This ship isn't hostile yet, but it's testing our defenses." Alira nodded. "Raise shields and keep weapons ready. We don't know their intent." From inside the mystery ship, Captain Noah Briggs observed the Valiant with cool calculation. Beside him, Engineer Dina monitored their scanners. "They are cautious," Briggs said quietly. "Good. We will show strength, not weakness." He touched a panel, and drone fighters emerged from hidden hangars, small but deadly. They hovered like silent hawks, waiting. Back on the Valiant, warning alarms sounded. "Captain, incoming drones." "They are approaching fast." Alira gritted her teeth. "Raise shields to full. Prepare point defense lasers." The drone fighters moved with deadly speed, weaving between the cruiser's defenses. The battle was brief but fierce. The drones fired small energy bursts, disabling the Valiant's engine thrusters and communications for a moment. "It's a warning," Alira said grimly. "They want us to stop." Suddenly, the unknown ship unleashed a massive antimatter pulse. It slammed into 3 Imperial destroyers nearby, disabling them instantly, but without destroying them. "Sir, 3 destroyers down." The tactical officer shouted. Alira's jaw tightened. "Keep your composure. They don't want full war. Yet." The ship's Rhea spoke through Briggs's comm panel. "Imperial fleet, this is the vessel called the Warden. We come from an era you have forgotten. We do not seek war. We seek balance." "Balance?" Alira repeated, bewildered. "Explain yourself." "No more words," Briggs said, his voice calm but firm. "We carry the judgment of humanity's past." Alira stared at the screen. She felt the weight of history pressing down. Then, the Warden disappeared again, this time warping away at impossible speed. The Valiant systems flickered back online. Communications restored. "We need to warn the High Council," Alira said. "This is bigger than any threat we have faced." In the shadows of the Imperial capital, Intelligence Officer Erin Wallace studied the battle data. Her eyes lit with realization. "This ship is ancient," she said softly. "A lost weapon from Earth's old wars. The Warden. It wasn't destroyed. It was hidden, waiting." Erin looked up, speaking into a secure channel. "We must prepare. The galaxy is about to remember humanity's true power and its price." Erin Wallace sat alone in her office, far below the shining towers of the imperial capital. The lights above her flickered leftover damage from the planet-wide power fluctuation caused by the Warden's EMP. She didn't notice. Her eyes were locked on her screen. She had watched the same message replay over 100 times. Do not follow. Her fingers trembled slightly as she typed into the restricted archive search. She wasn't supposed to be here. Accessing sealed Earth-era records without authorization was treason. But she needed answers. She searched again. Project Colossus classified. Access level. Locked by order of the Pre-Exodus Council keyword match. Warden. Ancient Terran Navy. Phase Fold Drive. Earth Preservation Directiver. Heart jumped. Erin stared at the file name. Project Colossus. No one in her generation had ever heard of it. Not in training. Not in lectures. It had been buried so deep that even the AI assistants refused to acknowledge it. She typed again. Overrode safeguards. Used every clearance code she had earned in 10 years of intelligence work. The file opened. A video played. Grainy, old. A man in a black uniform stood before a huge steel hull. Behind him, the unfinished frame of the Warden, or maybe its sister. "This is Admiral Lowell. Earth Command, year 2128, the man said, voice crackling. "Project Colossus is not a warship. It is a warning, a shadow, a keeper of balance. We send it into fold space, locked and hidden. It will remain asleep unless two signals are triggered: Earth's death or galactic collapse." Erin leaned forward, eyes wide. The man continued. "Do not awaken the Warden lightly. If it returns, then the stars have forgotten the price of peace." The video ended. Just that. Noah Briggs hadn't built the Warden. He had inherited it. Far across the galaxy, inside the Warden, Noah stood alone in a dark chamber. The walls hummed with ancient power. Before him floated a glowing blue sphere, Earth's last memory core. Rhea's voice filled the room. Archive playback completed. Noah spoke softly. "They've forgotten. The Empire, the colonies, the councils. All of them. They don't remember Earth's last warning. They fear you now," Rhea said. "They should fear what's coming more." Noah turned and walked through the corridor. Rows of sealed doors lined the walls, each hiding technology not seen in 1,000 years. Some doors held cryopods. Others held weapons too dangerous for war. Marcus met him near the elevator. "That scout fleet, they didn't follow, but they're watching. They're waiting to understand us," Noah said. "They'll dig into their archives," Marcus nodded. "And they'll find Project Colossus." "I hope they understand what it means," Noah whispered. "Because if they don't, we'll have to act." Back on Viron Prime, Erin took her findings to the only person she trusted, General Lisa Morrow, a retired Earthborn officer now working in data preservation. Lisa stared at the screen in silence for a long time. Finally she said, "Where did you find this?" "In a restricted vault beneath the High Council servers." Lisa rubbed her forehead. "They weren't supposed to bury this. Colossus was Earth's final insurance policy. I thought it was destroyed." "It wasn't," Erin said. "It's alive and it's moving." Lisa looked straight at her. "Then everything changes now." A few hours later, the council met in secret. Varel sat at the head, furious. How did this escape our systems? He demanded. Why wasn't this ship tracked? Why was Project Colossus buried? No one answered. A younger minister stood. Because it was never part of the Empire. It was Earth's. Before we became something else, it doesn't serve us. Then it must be neutralized. Erin was there. She stood up. You can't. That ship is older, faster, stronger than anything we have. If you try to attack it, it already attacked us, Varel shouted. It shut down our fleets. No, Erin said. It showed mercy. The room went quiet. That night, Erin stood on her balcony, watching the stars. Somewhere out there, the warden moved like a ghost. No lights, no broadcasts. Just watching and waiting. She didn't know what it wanted, but she was sure of one thing. Humanity hadn't been forgotten. It had been preparing. Captain Noah Briggs stood in the warden's central chamber, watching as the reactivation lights blinked in a slow, steady rhythm. The chamber was massive, round, quiet, and lined with cryopods. Each one held a person from a forgotten past. A soldier, a scientist, a guardian of humanity's final legacy. Ria's voice echoed softly. Phase 1 awakening at 12%. Estimated time to full readiness, 72 hours. Noah nodded. Start Phase 2 weapon diagnostics. In a nearby control station, Dina monitored power routes. Her hands moved carefully across the ancient systems. Core reactors stable. Shield systems online. Phase fold jump capacitor charged. At 68%, Marcus looked up from the helm. Stealth field still holding. No new tracking signals from the Empire. But I've intercepted a message, encrypted, deepnet. From Varon Prime. Noah raised an eyebrow. From whom? Name reads as Erin Wallace. Dina leaned in. The intel officer? She was there when the Saberlight made contact. Marcus nodded. She's trying to send us a message. It's not official. It's a warning. Noah's voice lowered. Play it. The message buzzed to life on the main screen. Erin appeared, tired, her voice hushed. They're preparing something. A weapon Omega level clearance. I don't know what it is, but it's aimed at you. You have to be careful. Not all of us want war. Some of us just want the truth. Please, if you see this, don't strike first. The message cut off. The room went silent. Dina turned to Noah. She's risking her life sending that. She still believes in something, he replied. Marcus stood. What do we do now? Wait for the Empire to make a move. Noah walked toward the main projection table. A large image of the galaxy hovered above it. He tapped a few commands. A red dot blinked over a small moon near the neutral Archon line. The Empire's staging point is here. Archon's Drift. I remember it from before. They used to test early grav weapons there. You think they'll launch from that location? Dina asked. Noah nodded. Yes, and we need to be there first. In space, the warden moved again. No engines roared. No light trail showed its path. It simply slid through the darkness like a shadow with a mind of its own. As it approached Archon's Drift, old battle wreckage drifted in silence. Broken ships, twisted stations, and frozen bodies floated in a forgotten graveyard of war. The perfect hiding place. The warden stopped behind. The shattered hull of a 1,000-year-old freighter. Inside, Ria spoke. Observation mode initiated. Surveillance deployed. No contact detected yet. Marcus floated beside a view panel, watching the stars. You think the Empire really built something that can kill this ship? Noah stood nearby. If they did, they didn't build it recently. Whatever they have planned, it was buried with Earth's enemies. Dina turned. Do we wait? We wait, Noah said. Until we know. Several hours later, 3 Empire cruisers entered Archon's Drift. They moved carefully, scanning the area. Inside one of them, Admiral Frayne paced his bridge. He was old, stern, and had no love for ghosts or history. I want full charge on the Omega Lance, he ordered. This time, if the ghost ship shows itself, we erase it. Sir, said the officer. It's just a test, right? No, Frayne said. It's justice. That ship made fools of us. Now we show the galaxy who holds power. Inside the Warden, alerts lit up. Energy spike detected, Rhea announced. Weapon signature confirmed. Omega Lance, charging sequence begun. Noah stood straight. Then it's real. Marcus looked pale. What do we do? Noah looked at the cryopods. Some had begun to glow softly. Life signs returning. We stopped them, he said. The Warden moved dotted, activated its stealth jump, no flash. No noise, just a ripple. And suddenly, it was behind the Imperial fleet. Alarm screamed on all three ships. They're here! Shouted. An officer. The Warden just appeared at R6. Frayne didn't panic. Fire the Omega Lance. From a dark bay inside the lead ship, a massive cannon extended. A single glowing beam charged in its center, pulsing brighter with each second. Inside the Warden, Rhea calculated fast. Impact in 12 seconds. Noah nodded. Rhea, he said. Release the Aegis. On the outer hull, a series of silver plates unfolded. They formed a dome around the ship. A field of ancient tech, forgotten, unmatched. The Omega Lance fired. The beam struck the shield and shattered like glass. Every screen on the Imperial ships went dark. Inside the Warden, everything remained still. Marcus stared in awe. We took a planet killer and survived, Dina grinned. They're going to panic now. Noah didn't smile. He walked to the command panel and opened a channel. To the Empire. To the galaxy. This is Captain Noah Briggs of the Warden. You fired your deadliest weapon, and we remain. He paused. You forgot the past. But the past did not forget you. He ended the message and waited. Alarms screamed across the Imperial. Warships. Inside the control room of the Harrow's Blade. Admiral Frayne's face turned pale as the Warden stood untouched in the center of the drift. The Omega Lance had failed. A weapon meant to erase small moons had done nothing to the black ship from Earth's forgotten past. We hit them with everything, one officer whispered. And they didn't even move. Admiral Frayne clenched his fists. Then we fire. Again, with all ships. Sir, the Omega Lance is cooling. It needs at least an hour. Then we use what we have. Inside the Warden, Noah Briggs watched silently as 20 more ships entered Arkan's drift. Big ones. Heavy ones. Fighters. Flew like clouds around them. They're bringing a fleet now, Dina said. This is going to get ugly. Let them, Marcus said from the pilot chair. They came looking for a ghost. They'll find more than that. The sleeping pods along the Warden's spine were humming. More lights turned green. Slowly. The crew from centuries ago was waking up. Soldiers, pilots, strategists, people who had trained for a war that never happened. Rhea's voice was calm. 53 Guardians revived, 100 more in progress. Weapon systems charged, drone bay unlocked. Noah looked at the screen. The enemy fleet was moving in, surrounding the Warden, preparing to attack. He placed his hand on the control panel. Don't kill unless necessary. Disable, disarm, humiliate. Acknowledged, Rhea said. Outside, the Warden moved. Not fast but smooth, elegant. It glided between the wrecks of old ships like it had danced there before. Then from its underside, hundreds of silver spheres detached. Drones. They activated at once, spinning, blinking, calculating. Within seconds, they shot out in all directions. Inside Harrow's Blade, radar screens exploded with noise. There's too many. A tech shouted. They're jamming our signals. EMP waves incoming. Deploy countermeasures. Too late. The drones moved with impossible precision. They didn't shoot to destroy. Instead, they attacked weapon systems, communication towers, engine cores. One by one, the Imperial fleet began to fall silent. Inside the Warden, Marcus grinned. They're dancing out there. Like they've done this 1,000 times. They have, Noah said. We trained them for peace, but prepared them for war. On board Vexor 19, a smaller imperial ship, Lieutenant Aura watched helplessly. As her ship powered down, no lights, no engines, just silence. Then, to her shock, one of the warden's drones hovered outside the viewing window. It scanned her ship. Then flashed a message in blue. "You are spared. Stand down." The drone flew off. She whispered. They could have destroyed us. But they didn't. At the edge of the battle, Erin Wallace arrived on a stealth runner. She had left Varon Prime without permission, risked everything. But she had to see it for herself. Her ship floated near an old satellite, hiding from the Chidi mess. Her screen lit up with live feeds, hundreds of Imperial ships frozen, paralyzed. The Warden didn't fire a single fatal shot. It didn't need to. It was winning with silence. Then, a ping. A direct message from the Warden. Erin stared at the blinking icon. Her hands trembled. She accepted. A voice spoke, calm, steady. "Noah." "Briggs," she whispered. He appeared on her screen. "You tried to warn us," he said. "Thank you," she swallowed. "Why are you here?" Noah looked tired. "To remind them of who they used to be, of what they buried." "Will you destroy the fleet?" "No," he said. "Only the idea that they are untouchable." Erin nodded. "They'll come after you again." "I know," Noah said. "That's why we're waking them." On the Warden, another row of pods opened. Men and women stepped out, eyes blinking, skin pale, uniforms ancient. They looked around. The ship, it remembered them. And they remembered it. Rhea greeted them with a soft message. "Welcome back, Guardians. Earth remembers you." Noah met them in the hall. "The galaxy is sick, but we don't rule it, we guide it. And we start with mercy." They nodded, no questions. Soldiers of a dead Earth. Alive again. Back in Arkan's Drift, Admiral Frayne gave the order to retreat. "We've lost control," he said. "Pull back. Tell the Council the truth. We cannot win." The Empire's fleet limped away, dozens of ships disabled, others towed by tractor beams. The Warden stayed behind, floating in silence. Watching. Erin's single quotes S message went viral within a day. She shared everything, the footage, the message, the truth. The people listened. Some called the Warden a weapon, others called it a savior. But all agreed on one thing: the galaxy had changed, and somewhere in the dark, Earth had returned. The halls of the Imperial Palace on Varon Prime were filled with whispers. Secrets moved faster than the air conditioning. The council was divided. High Chancellor Varel stood at the head of the Grand Chamber, slamming his fist on the table. "We face a threat unlike any before. That vessel, the Warden, has humiliated our fleets and challenged our rule. We cannot let this continue." A younger council member, Minister Kalen, stood and raised his voice. "High Chancellor, with respect, the Warden has done nothing but disable our ships without bloodshed. Many systems are questioning the Council's decisions. They see the Warden as a protector, not a destroyer." Varel's face darkened. "Protector? It is an ancient weapon, a relic from Earth's forgotten wars. It has no place in our future." "But the people listen to Erin Wallace," Kalen replied quietly. "She has defected. She warns of a hidden weapon the Council plans to use against the Warden. This Omega Lance. It could destroy entire planets. Is this the justice we want?" Varel's hand clenched into a fist again. "Erin Wallace is a traitor, and she will be dealt with accordingly." Erin sat in a small hidden safe house outside the capital city. She knew the walls had ears. Her communications were monitored. But she had no choice. Her message to the galaxy had spread. Systems were choosing sides. Some called for peace with the Warden. Others demanded war. Tonight, she was not alone. A small group of rebels had gathered. Former military, scientists, and politicians tired of the Council's lies. "We can't wait for them to strike first," Erin said. The Omega Lance is real. We've seen it charge. It could wipe out the Warden in a single shot. We have to warn the galaxy. We have to unite against this madness. A man stepped forward. His face was hard but hopeful. I'm Captain Soren. I fought alongside Aaron on Vexor 9. We believe the Warden is not just a weapon, it's a guardian. We have to help it awaken. Aaron nodded, but the Council is watching. They will hunt us down. Then we fight, Soren said. Meanwhile, deep in the secret labs beneath Varon Prime, scientists prepared the final tests for the Omega Lance. A huge machine hummed with power. Its core glowed with a terrible light. Dr. Ilya Rennet, the lead physicist, watched the readings nervously. This weapon is unlike any other, she said. If we fire it, the blast radius will be catastrophic. Whole systems could be lost. A cold voice interrupted. Exactly why we must use it, said Counselor Mavic. The Warden threatens our control. Fear will bring order. Dr. Rennet looked down. She didn't agree, but her loyalty was to survival. On the Warden, Noah Briggs felt the tension grow. The crew was restless. The ancient warriors from the pods trained daily. The ship itself seemed to pulse with life. Rhea, Noah asked, what do you detect from the Empire's capital? Omega Lance power levels rising steadily. Council military forces mobilizing. A direct strike is possible within hours. Noah's eyes hardened. We must prepare for the worst. Marcus joined him. Do we strike first? Noah shook his head. No, we show strength, but we do not start the war. Dina added, but if they fire that weapon, we won't survive long. No, Noah said quietly. Then we fight to protect what remains. Back on Varon Prime, the Council debated. High Chancellor, Kalen said, many systems threaten rebellion. But people want peace, not endless war. If we destroy the Warden, we lose more than a ship, we lose faith. Varel's voice was harsh. Then we lose the Empire. Better to burn the past than let it consume us. That night, Aaron sent out a secret transmission. People of the galaxy. Her voice was calm but strong. We stand on the edge of destruction. The Council plans to use a weapon that can end life on a massive scale. But there is hope. The Warden is not a monster. It carries the legacy of Earth, of honor and protection. Choose wisely. Choose peace. Her message echoed through the stars. Meanwhile, in a shadowed room, a group of Imperial officers gathered. We must act, one said. The Council's plan is madness. Another nodded. I agree. We should defect. Join Aaron and the Warden. A leader stepped forward. Then we prepare for a new future. The galaxy waited. Divided. Torn. And watching as old loyalties broke apart. The hidden moon base of Solara Prime hummed with quiet menace. Deep underground, the Omega Lance, an ancient weapon of terrible power, was ready. Its massive cannon towered over a vast chamber, charged with energy drawn from the planet's core. High Chancellor Varel stood before the control panel, eyes cold and determined. Today we end this threat. The Warden will be destroyed, and the galaxy will remember who commands it. Behind him, scientists and soldiers prepared the final launch sequence. The weapon pulsed brighter with each passing second. In the capital, Erin Wallace and her small group of rebels raced against time. They had learned the location of the Omega Lance base. Their plan was desperate. Infiltrate, disable, or destroy the weapon before it fired. Erin's voice was steady over comes. We have one chance. Failure means annihilation. Meanwhile, in the depths of space near Arkan's Drift, the Warden prepared for the inevitable. Captain Noah Briggs stood on the bridge, watching the stars. Rhea, he said, what's the status of the Empire's fleet? 30 ships have been disabled or destroyed. But reinforcements are arriving, and the Omega Lance is nearly ready to fire. Noah clenched his fists. Then we move. It's time to end this. On Solara Prime, The rebel team had slipped through patrols and reached the weapon's core. Alarms blared as they cut power lines and set charges. Erin worked quickly, her heart pounding. Suddenly, soldiers stormed in. Gunfire echoed. But Erin and her team held firm. The countdown continued. In space, the Omega Lance fired. A brilliant beam of blue-white light shot out, faster than the eye could see, heading straight for the Warden. The ancient ship raised its shields. The beam struck the shield dome and shattered like glass. Inside, systems flickered but held. The Warden activated a countermeasure. A pulse of energy surged outward, hitting the base on Solara Prime. Explosions rocked the moon. The weapon was destroyed. On the rebel team's comms, Erin heard cheering. The base was lost. She smiled despite the chaos. Back on the Warden, Noah spoke to the galaxy. This weapon was the last hope of a broken empire, but power without justice is a curse. He paused. The Council has fallen. A new alliance will rise. Back on Veron Prime, the Council chambers were silent. High Chancellor Varel had vanished. Some said he fled. Others whispered darker things. Minister Kalen stood before the new assembly. We will rebuild. Not with fear, not with war, but with respect for all life. Erin returned to the capital, welcomed by cheers. She knew the fight was not over, but hope had returned. In the vast reaches of space, the Warden moved quietly. No longer a ghost. No longer a threat. A guardian. A reminder that humanity's past was never truly lost, and that its future was watched. Always.